welcome to Shrubby Buddies podcast, where we talk all things horticulture right from the heart of Zone 6B. So grab a drink, step into the garden, and grow with us as we talk plants, tools, tips, tricks, with a healthy dose of comedy and banter. Whether you're crushing it in the landscape or just trying to keep the one plant alive, we've got you covered. And as always, love you harder +2. Hey, Shrubby Buddies, and welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I am Matthew C., joined with Timmy D., my best good friend, partner in crime. We're in Studio 6B, coming at you on a Monday evening in Central Ohio.
Sup?
Yo. What up?
Monday.
It is a Monday.
When I was at lunch today, I was talking about stopping by your place for this recording to Sam. And Sam was just very thrown off. He's like, "Don't you guys usually record on a Tuesday?"
I know.
And I was like, yeah, but we're going to do a Monday this week.
As soon as lunch was over, we ran out to the chemical storage shed and we were organizing our Chloroburst and Honey Badger A.
I like the way you're pronouncing things today.
And he was like, "So I hear that you're recording a podcast tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, where'd you hear that from?" He's like, "Oh, Tim just mentioned it to me." So I was like, "Okay, yeah." As a matter of fact, we are, Sammy. So
yeah, I mean, it'll still come out at the same time as usual, I would assume.
Yeah.
Just
whenever
that's out of my hands.
Whenever that
B-roll.
is. Yeah. So yeah, you're responsible for B-roll. So what else has been going on? You got a vacay coming up. Timmy will be out of studio next week. So no podcast next week, people. Sorry about that.
That's true. Unless Matt wants to hook something up where I call in and I do something from the beach in Michigan.
Or do I do a solo?
Or you do a solo.
Yikes. You still need to do a solo.
Yeah, but
ain't happening.
I feel like your OnlyFans really want you to do a solo.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens.
No, you do what you want.
We'll see what I got going on.
I won't be mad either way.
I know you won't.
But yeah, we'll be chances are we'll be off next week unless Matt comes up with something wonderful. But yeah.
Where are you going?
Northern Michigan.
The motherland. Or is it only the motherland when you're speaking of me?
It's your motherland.
Okay. So you're going up to Charlevoix.
I'm going up to Matt's motherland.
You're going up to Charlevoix?
Charlevoix.
I like it. It's going to be good. You going to Barnes Park in historic Barnes Park, a.k.a. Traverse City Botanical Garden?
I am.
Okay, cool.
I have lots of things on the docket.
Yeah.
Lots of wonderful things on the docket. In fact, you and I were just talking about going to a baseball game. Perhaps I should take some of the willing participants to a Pit Spitters game.
If you're going to Traverse City, make a day of it. Whoever doesn't want to attend the game,
that's fine.
All right. See you guys later tonight.
Because I don't want to attend the houseboat.
And you just head on down to the Pit Spitters game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from Barnes Park. It's just a hop and a skip down the road.
And a jump.
The Traverse City Pit Spitters is actually at Chum's Corner.
Oh, Chum's Corner.
Makes
sense.
Yeah, it's down there by Chum's Corner.
Okay.
But you get down there, it's a nice little stadium.
Well, and you know what else is great about being in that area this time of year?
What's that?
It's cherry season.
It is cherry season.
Dude,
you're going to have cherry everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I was talking with my mother-in-law just the other day about how it's just everybody's just selling cherries on the corners, that just got harvested. We just pull over, buy a bag of cherries, and you just eat on those things in the car from one town to another. It's
every single cherry farm is going to have a standout.
Yeah.
You can stop and get all of the goods.
Some good cherries, man.
Cherry capital of the world, Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah.
So, that'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to that for you guys.
We are too. It's been a minute since we've done a big vacation. It's been a couple of years.
Good.
We've done some little ones here and there, but it's been a minute since we've done a week-long big thing.
So. Yeah. You going to go to Grass River Nature Preserve?
I'd love to. Yeah. It's on top of my list.
On the docket?
Yeah. You ever been there?
I think I stopped by there once.
Yeah. It's a cool place. They got sea otters that Are they sea otters?
They're otters.
They have otters that, do otter things, like just play and
they collect the little stones and swim around with them.
Make you laugh, and they're so pleasant.
The little treasures.
Yeah. Oh, I hope I see the otters, but if I don't, whatever, I'll see something.
Yeah.
Be something cool.
Gonna find Petoskey stones.
Oh,
I love you. You told me a story about.
I did tell. Let's see how good you were listening.
You told me a story just today about Petoskey stones, and that was that at the new at Barack Obama's new presidential center in Chicago, they have a replica of the Oval Office and how he had it set up when he was in office. And inside the desk, what is that desk called? Is that the Resolute desk? I don't know. Anyways, inside of his desk, he had 3 things always in there.
3 things.
3 things. Not 2, but 3. He had the letter that President Bush wrote him, for when he took over in office. I don't remember what the other thing was.
His BlackBerry.
Oh, BlackBerry phone. Yeah, BlackBerry phone and a Petoskey stone. And I think that's awesome.
It's really cool. It's a good stone for rubbing.
It really is. It really is.
And I assume, like, as president, there's a lot of decisions you have to make that can be nerve-wracking, and maybe having that stone to rub on while you're thinking about it.
I'd like to see his polished up Petoskey stone. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll bet the Obama Center in Chicago, I'll bet the replica is very similar to the one, if not the one. I don't know. I can't speak.
No, he probably didn't put the one in there.
He probably keeps that one by his bedside or whatever, or his new desk,
or in his pocket. Maybe he's got a little pocket stone. Yeah. Ooh.
Damn.
That was crazy.
We're on a wavelength tonight. Pocket stone.
Pocket stone. Perennials. You were talking about what you thought was looking really good. We were having a conversation prior to recording. Glowing Dreams echinaceas, a new one that you're using out and about and around Dublin.
Glowing Dream. It's funny because it was my second choice, if you recall, because you were ordering those plugs for me, and I don't even remember what my first choice was at this point.
It might have been Peacabella.
Might have been Peacabella. You're right. Yeah, it probably was Peacabella.
And I couldn't find it in plugs, and that was just kind of like, oh, Tim, sorry, but all I can get you is Glowing Dream.
And of course, it was one that was, I did heavy research on Mount Cuba trials. And Glowing Dream gets great reviews. So I said, let's try that. Let's try that one. It's turned out to be a really pretty echinacea.
It is a pretty echinacea.
Like a watermelon-y shade of pink. Really, just really bright, right?
Ooh. Yeah, it is. It is bright. Yeah.
So
I like it.
I'm digging that. I'm digging that one right now. Very much so.
Lots of color in the gardens right now.
Oh, yeah.
Things are really popping off as we roll into summer. I don't know, like here in Central Ohio, I don't know how it's been around the rest of the country for all of you listeners out there, but here in Central Ohio right now, we have had a lot of rain and not a lot of sunshine and kind of mild and cooler temperatures. So annuals seem like they're taking a second to get going, but the perennials are really popping off.
They are. I think that the butterfly weed right now looks exceptional.
Butterfly weed looks really, really good right now. Alliums in flower.
The warm season grasses are just starting to like put on that really robust flush of growth. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for sure.
What else?
But going back to the annuals you were talking about, I think I mentioned that to you today. You asked me how my planters were doing downtown. I said they look pretty good. The petunias are going crazy. The ornamental grasses, the annual grasses look really nice. But I said that the salvias were kind of looking. What was the word I used?
Stunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not throwing off a ton of vigorous flowers and not putting on a ton of growth. And you reassured me it was just because we haven't had that like hot, dry weather yet.
Yeah, we need the sun and the heat,
and I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
For my own sake. If my salvias are going to be underperforming a little bit, but I'm fairly comfortable through the midday, fine. Whatever.
Well, enjoy it while you can, because you know as well as I do that hot, dry weather's is not too far off.
I mean, we've talked about this, but that's part of why I'm drawn to northern Michigan in the summer, because it's like, it's still hot. You can still have hot days. It can still get super hot there. But looking at the weather forecast next week, it's about a 10-degree difference than here, and it's already kind of on the cooler side here. And like, I love it. I know there's going to be people in our party that are going to be like, "Oh, it's too cold," but I'm just going to be like,
"No such thing."
It's perfect, because I can walk about one of these towns or on the beach and just not sweat and get saturated. When it's in the mid 60s, that's just lovely. Mm-hmm. And then in the evening when you're down in like the low 50s, it's perfect for a bonfire on the beach.
I do know.
Much prefer that, and I know you would too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm up in Michigan constantly, but my favorite time of the year up there is in the fall. For that reason, you can get, like mid 60s during the day, which is comfortable. And then, or even in the 50s, depending on when you go up or where you're at exactly. But then at night, it cools off and you get those even like down into the upper 40s where it's like, I'm going to throw a hoodie on and just be comfortable. Sleep with the windows open.
Everybody's different, because some people are putting on a hoodie in the 70s.
No, thank you.
I'm excited, hopefully in the near future, to get up there in the fall.
This year,
because I've spent some time. A few years back, we did a vacation in northern Wisconsin in the fall, like late September, which in Columbus could still be
100,000.
90 some degrees. But there, like the sugar maples were all at their peak.
The sugar
maple. And it was just like beautiful fall kind of cooler weather. So, I'm looking forward to making it up to the cabin during the fall.
Yeah, we'll get up there. Don't worry. We'll do a little video podcast.
What's that concert that's going on?
So September the 19th, we talked about the Pit Spitters, the baseball team, at their stadium. They're doing, I don't know what it's called or what it's for or whatever, but it's Blues Traveler, the Spin Doctors, and Gin Blossoms. Yeah. Nice. September 19th, $50 a ticket or something. $40.
We should try to make it to that.
Even if it's just for the weekend, go up, go to the concert, hang out, and come back.
And I want to say something. This isn't my music pick of the week, but Gin Blossoms has like so many freaking hits.
Yeah.
But I think one of their most underrated tunes is Allison Road.
Okay.
You know that one?
I don't.
Oh. It was a radio hit, but it was like, if there was like 3 tiers of like most popular, mid popular, least popular, it was down here.
Down there?
Yeah. Allison Road.
For me, it would be seeing Blues Traveler. I love Blues Traveler.
Oh.
But
yeah, I think all 3 of those combined would be cool. But I think, trying to think, I think Blues Traveler would be the most fun.
They would be the headliner of the 3, I'm sure.
I would think so.
So,
yeah.
Going back to the weather thing, your wife mentioned something this evening, and I've had a couple of people ask about it at the greenhouse, and that's fire blight.
Fire blight.
So I've had
what's fire blight?
Customer at the greenhouse ask on their apple trees, and Megan said she thinks she has a couple of crab apples at Enniswood that have fire blight.
Prairie fire. And crab apple.
Yeah, it's a disease.
A fungal
disease. And I don't think that it's uncommon. It's not an uncommon disease, especially for things like your apples and your crab apples.
I think anything in the rose family, right?
Anything, yeah. But it's been a really kind of mild, wet spring and start to summer. And with that comes all of these fungals. And I don't think it's a death sentence by any means for if left untreated, obviously. But I think, pruning out the dead branches that are in there.
Okay.
Pruning out the dead branches, sterilizing your pruners between cuts.
What are we sterilizing with? Like an alcohol?
I would use
situation?
like an alcohol. Yeah, like an isopropyl alcohol or something along those lines. So, just wiping them down really good, sterilizing them, and then, and the people may disagree with me on that or have something better. I don't know. That's what I would do if it were me. I would just use alcohol in between the cuts. And then, there's copper fungicides that work well. And then also using like dormant season sprays on like the apples and things will help. Horticultural oils, dormant season sprays, things like that. And that's all stuff that gets sprayed before bud breaks. So that would be like through the winter, like late winter, early spring. So
my piece of really helpful advice here is
don't plant crab apples.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an apple farming operation, that's a whole different beast. Yeah. But just don't plant crab apples because, down the road, they're going to be a pain in the ass to prune anyways. They're like
crab apples.
I remember a time, that park in Dublin, it's like up by Wedgwood. It's just a pond.
I know where you're going with it.
A pond with steep hills going down to it. And it's got like 6,000 trees in it.
I remember Sean Shipman. I know where you're going with it. Sean Shipman and his, the summer of Fireblight, and you guys removed all of those crab apples.
No,
right?
That was Emerald. This is a different story. This is a completely different story.
All right.
There's like 5 of us moving through this park.
Did it involve Sean?
Just pruning. Yes. It was me and him and his crew.
Okay.
And we would just prune, and you would finish a tree, stack the branches, and move to the next tree that was closest to you. Well, if the crab apple was next, I would just look, no one sees me, and I would just go to the next tree. Because I hate pruning crab apples, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, you could be on that thing all day and still get it wrong.
I know.
But yes, there was one where we just cut down all the crab apples.
Yeah, that's what I think
we were sick of them.
Yeah.
And we were like, if a resident asks why we're doing this, we'll just say Fireblight.
Fireblight. Yeah. Fireblight. Oh, okay.
That's great.
Sounds legit.
But yeah, I don't plant crab apples personally. They give you 2 weeks of just like a splendid bloom.
Oh,
it's pretty unmatched, but then like the rest of the year, how many weeks in a year? 52.
Mm-hmm.
So the other 50 weeks, they're just like garbage.
What's his face up there at Ohio State?
If he's listening right now, which I'm sure he isn't, but
not Chatfield.
Yeah, it's Chatfield.
Yeah, Chatfield. Yeah,
Jim Chatfield.
Jim Chatfield, and he's like the dude. He like goes around the world.
The crab apple guru.
Oh. Goes around the world looking at crab apples.
And I get it to an extent. Your thing is your thing. Like I freaking love Buckeyes, but that's a weird thing to love. But
yeah.
Anyways, I mean, no offense to, anyways. Yeah. Offense. I can't stand crab apples.
Yeah. Fireblight. Oh, geez.
So, here you go, Meg.
Yeah. So speaking of music, bub, what's the song for the week? What's your song for the week?
Well, I thought since I'm going to be traveling to northern Michigan in the next few days, and you just returned from northern Michigan, and we're going to have a week off because I'll be in northern Michigan. There's a song that when I travel there, I always put on, but also when I hear that song here, I always think of northern Michigan.
Yeah.
And that is Lake Michigan by the band Rogue Wave.
Yeah, it's such a good tune, isn't it?
It is. And I wanted to put my phone up here and play just like a few bars of it for all of you to listen to. So I Googled like how many seconds can you play?
0
to do it so you're not like doing a copyright infringement. And AI told me that that's a myth. Like you can't play any of it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to play any of it, but I recommend you listen to the song. Probably a song you've heard before, maybe not based on the title because I'm pretty sure they don't say Lake Michigan in the song at all. But I see Lake Michigan when I hear the song. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean by that because I think my brain goes the same way whenever I hear that song. Same with like Lord Huron. Whenever I hear them, I always think of the state of Michigan. I think they're from Michigan,
okay,
but they sing about Michigan periodically. And then I know that there's another tune for you. Whenever we go through Flint, you've always got to play. What is it? What is the song
Flint Town,
Yeah,
Flint Town.
Yeah. So every time we go up there, we got to blare it when we drive through Flint.
I hope somebody listening knows what that song. It's
Bismarck,
the Dayton family, and they're from Flint.
Okay.
And they're just like straight up rap.
Yeah.
And
who's your cousin you go up there and sing it with?
Well, I haven't seen him in many years, but Pecker.
Yeah.
His name's Pecker. His middle name's Becker, and we've always called him Pecker because of it. But yeah, he turned me on to the Dayton family and Bootleg, and Bootleg sings that other song that I sing when we go through Flint Town.
I don't know. Yeah.
Bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. I'm not going to, even though we are rated explicit, I'm not going to say that one.
Yeah.
That one's nasty. But is it funny how like you hear a song and it brings you to a certain place, or you go to a certain place and you're like, I got to listen to that song.
Yeah.
Like, when we were driving into Chicago a month or so ago, coming from Amelia's soccer tournament outside of Chicago into the city, I just put on Sufjan Stevens' Illinois album.
Yeah.
On the Spotify, and we just like rode into Chicago listening to that, and it just like made sense and it felt good. That's cool. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I will listen to his album Michigan.
Yeah, is it called Michigan?
Is it? It's Michigan or Michigander or something.
It is the one that's all Michigan themed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I go into Chicago, though,
sure.
I just listen to the soundtrack for Shameless.
which I believe it's final episode of the series. This isn't a spoiler if you haven't seen it. I believe it goes out playing Chicago by Sufjan Stevens. I think.
Does it? Okay.
I think that as the episode fades away, they're playing that song.
Dude, that is a really good soundtrack. But
it is. So it's like it's really cool. Like more than cool. Like it's really special sometimes how music does that to you, right? Like it brings you to a certain place, or a certain place brings you back to something.
Yeah.
And I think plants can do the same thing to you at times. Like there's times where a certain plant, every time you see it or hear the name, it always flashes a memory of something in your mind of being somewhere else.
Oh, for sure.
Or you're somewhere else and you can't help to think about a specific plant, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think everyone probably has those attachments.
And it's
all of us plant nerds.
And sometimes it's like for happy reasons. Sometimes it's for sad reasons, but it's all okay. Like it's okay to dwell on things that maybe was a sad thing, just because at least for some people it helps you through.
Yeah.
But do you have any examples of?
I do, dude. I have a lot of examples.
That...
So obviously for me, as everyone on the podcast knows, Northern Michigan holds a special place in my heart.
You like Northern Michigan?
Love Northern Michigan.
Did not know that.
I would love to live up in Northern Michigan, but there's a lot of special places up there that whenever I see certain plants, I think about some of the different places up there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like, for example, we'll just use the cabin, for example, my brother's cabin, you know, anytime I see ferns or stands of pine trees or witch hazel, our native witch hazel, I mean, those are all things that bring me, like, immediately make me think of the cabin, because at the cabin, it's just, you know, a cabin in the pines, basically, and there's a lot of, on the edge of the pines and back in the prairie area, there's a lot of witch hazel up there.
In the pines.
Where the sun don't ever shine.
I remember your first time at the cabin. I don't know if he'd purchased it yet. Probably.
Yeah.
But you just kept sending me photos like, look what I found in the woods. Look what I found in the woods. That was fun. Like I knew you were just real jacked up about that.
Yeah, it was cool because here in Central Ohio, we don't see the native witch hazel growing to the extent that it does up there.
Right. You see it from time to time, but not in the numbers.
Not
that you
in
see
mass.
It there.
Yeah. It's,
and
it's
I mean,
everywhere.
it's one of my favorite plants.
Yeah.
Witch hazel, period. So seeing it in nature is really cool.
That and ferns. Ferns is the other thing too. If you've ever been up to northern Michigan, there's ferns everywhere. So
Yeah, they don't call it Fern Gully for nothing up there.
Sure, yeah.
Fern Gully.
Yeah, so I mean there's that with northern Michigan. In the Upper Peninsula, there's Cornus canadensis or bunchberry, which is almost remind you of Trillium a little bit, a low-growing dogwood. It gets the pretty dogwood flower on this little short plant, but
instead of having 3 leaves and 3 petals like a Trillium, it's got 4.
4
leaves and 4 petals.
Yeah.
And it almost just looks like it is. It's like a ground cover, low-growing
dogwood.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah.
I've never seen much of it live. I hope to get there again someday and really like just immerse myself in it.
Yeah.
That's like one of the plants that's in my like top 5 I wish we could grow, but we can't.
Yeah.
It's just too hot and humid here.
The other one that grows up there in the UP a lot that whenever I see here used ornamentally is striped maple. Is a very, very common understory tree up there. So
cool. What a cool tree.
Things like that always take me back to the UP. I can go on about northern Michigan.
I know you could, and I have a northern Michigan one.
What's your northern Michigan one?
And this one's different. You went with a lot of the naturally growing stuff. My favorite, petunia.
Oh,
latte petunia.
Let me guess where you saw it at.
Guess.
Harbor Springs.
You got it right.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I actually had to check before this to see if it was Harbor Springs or Petoskey because I forget they both have wonderful flower displays.
Yeah, and they're literally across the bay from each other.
They're very close by.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it in a planter on the front porch of a business, and it just glowed.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, in northern Michigan, they can just grow petunias better because they don't have as harsh of hot and humid climates that like deteriorates them as quick. They have a shorter growing season, so there's that. But I'll never forget the geraniums, the bedding geraniums, pelargoniums, and the petunias there. Just always looked so full and bright. There wasn't they weren't straggly and brown. But the latte petunia is a white, just a bright white with kind of like, I think the throat is like dark purple, but it almost comes off as like brown.
Yeah. Yep. It does. Yeah. It's weird.
It's hard to explain, but it's just been my favorite petunia. It's been a great performer for me, and it's one of those annuals that just goes well with everything.
Yeah.
But every time I think about it, I think the first time I saw it there in Harbor Springs and how much I loved it.
It takes you back to Harbor Springs.
And
I
took like a whole bunch of pictures of this one plant.
Yeah. Oh, so. I've got a lot of pictures of plants from up there.
Yeah.
Another Michigan one for me is Grass River Nature Preserve. I spend a lot of time over there. It's a hop and a skip from my brother's place. Probably 5 minutes from door to door, give or take. But it's just this beautiful. I don't know the acreage or anything, but it's this beautiful stand of land that they've acquired over the years, and I think they've continued to acquire land along the Grass River, a naturally occurring bog area. So there's 2 or 3 streams that run into this, and it's filtered by acres of this bog, cedar bog.
And don't forget the otters.
I know. And it filters out into the Grass River, which then goes to Clam Lake and then to Torch Lake and so on and so forth. But and there's otters there, a lot of good wildlife and stuff. But there's 2 plants in there that whenever I see them, I always think of, and that's Carex stricta. So they have a lot of, we won't even say stricta, Carex in general. There's a lot of Carex that grows in here.
Carex is Latin for sedge.
Sedge. There's a lot of sedges. So the way this nature preserve set up is there's kind of more upland, woodland type setting that you can hike through the woods and stuff. But my favorite place up there is the boardwalk through the bog. So when you walk through there, it's just so much life. So all these different sedges and all these different ferns and all these different bog plants that are growing in there. I mean, anything you could think of that would be like a bog plant or a marginal type native perennial is growing in this thing. So always get reminded whenever I see sedges, and then the other one is larch trees. So in this cedar bog, there's obviously cedars, but there's tons of larch trees that are growing in here, and
that's a native deciduous
conifer,
which means it loses its needles, unlike like a pine or a spruce, right?
Yeah.
And the needles are soft. It's a lovely tree. And another thing about that you didn't mention is that I think that experience at Grass River Nature Preserve has had a lot of impact on your design in the landscape, specifically with your rain garden.
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit.
A lot of it. A lot of that specifically with that garden.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what I see.
Okay.
You when you were designing that garden, you talked about having the carrot, lots of the carex with things popping through it,
and
just like you saw.
And I didn't use the carex.
It doesn't matter. It's not that you didn't use the same exact carex, but it's that you used a carex. You were using some of that let nature guide you stuff to guide you in this rain garden.
So what I love about that is we talk about at the Grass River Nature Preserve, specifically the area that is just like Carex stricta all along the boardwalk, is there's like matrix style plantings, right? And I mean, prairies obviously would be kind of that matrix style planting where you get a lot of the grass lower plants with, perennials that pop up.
Yeah, the grass
through.
kind of ties everything together.
But this was just so, like, it was pretty much all carex, and you go up there like late summer, early fall, especially, and it's just like pockets of Joe Pye weed growing up through there, and there's thalictrum growing up.
You ever been up in there during a sunset?
Ferns and I mean, I've been up there with you during.
I know,
the
but that was winter.
I know. Yes, I have.
We didn't get to see the sunset like bouncing off of all these plants because there was like 3 feet of snow on the ground, but that was still cool.
Yeah,
no problem.
So you just get all of these like pops of perennials that are like, growing up through this matrix plant of carex, and it's like, it's one of those things where we would rack our brains over to design something like this, right?
And nature just
it's beautiful, but it's not something that anyone designed. It was just that's how it is.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
I don't know.
I love it. You're getting me in the heart, and I feel like whenever you post some things from this episode, you need to hashtag them.
Okay.
The Grass River Preserve, because we've just spoken a lot about them and wonderful people, and we did their trivia there a couple years ago, and that was a lot of fun. So, gosh.
And they have such a cool little visitor center with all of the goodies and a lot of history on the property.
Yeah, so basically, if you're there, don't miss out.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on this.
What else? Oh, and they have full-time, naturalists that work there, and some beautiful pollinator gardens around the building. Anyways.
And otters.
And otters, yeah. Let's not forget about the otters.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some areas for you? Like, what are plants that draw you to an area that
yeah. So the more we were talking about this, anytime, and you know this story, but anytime that I see or someone mentions trying to grow an orange or any type of citrus, especially here in Ohio, you can grow it, but you have to bring it inside. It's a whole deal.
Yeah.
I'm always brought back to when I was young, visiting my grandparents in Florida. And Florida now is not my favorite place to be.
Yeah.
It's just like lots of critters that bite, lots of humidity
and other things.
And just other strange things happening in Florida. We love you, Florida. I got poisoned by a frog in the eyeball the last time I was in Florida. So I'm just telling you, like, these things happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was my fault, I'm sure. But my my grandparents lived in Florida in this lovely little community with a pond and a pool, and I would do all kinds of bass fishing there. And every morning we would have fresh squeezed orange juice, like literally just oranges squeezed and then drink like that. Because all around my grandparents' community was orange fields. And the way we got the oranges is the fun thing. So if you went to where the entrance to her neighborhood was, there was this 90-degree turn in the road, and the trucks that carried the oranges would go around this curve, and inevitably some oranges would fall off the truck because they were just piled in this like long dump truck, and they would just be sitting there waiting for me to gather up and put in the basket of the bike and then ride back home and then have that for breakfast. So
I love it.
That's one of those plant memories for me, is just like gathering the oranges that the truck spilled and making orange juice. And it was like so dependable. You ride to that corner on the bike, like 2 minutes down the road, and there's oranges just everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I think of, like, talking about grandparents' places, I think of whenever I see cactus. It always cactus.
Tell me more.
So my family's from Texas,
mm-hmm.
South Texas. And I'm not. I was born in Virginia, but pretty much everyone but my two brothers and I are all born in Texas.
Yeah, your sister has a very, a connection. She's a big Texans fan, right?
Yeah, she went to A&M for a year. But anyways, I mean, first of all, like my dad's parents, they were in San Antonio, Texas, and there's just cactus down there, right? But I always think of cactus because when we were a kid, we would go to the Guadalupe River and we would go swimming in the Guadalupe River. And this was, 35 years ago. So, but I remember jumping on a rock that had like cactus growing on it or something. It was something weird. And I got the cactus spines in my feet.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. It's one of those core memories that sticks out in my head. So anytime I think of Texas, I think of that. And then also with Texas, I think of pecan trees. And that was more during my horse showing days. Just being out there in the fall time for horse shows or whatever, and just seeing the number of people pulled off the side of the road along the interstate and like
just gathering pecans that just grew.
Yeah. Gathering
That's
pecans.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, pecans are a superior nut.
Oh,
and
so good.
And that's not just my opinion. That's a fact.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
A slice of pecan pie.
I mean, I like all kinds of nuts, but pecans are superior.
What about these nuts?
They're towards the top.
Yeah. So that's awesome. There's a lot of places that whenever I see plants, I think of them. When we were in Asheville, whenever we talk about thalictrum now, it always brings me back to just a few years ago at thalictrum, and it brings me back to, or meadow rue. It brings me back to the tour day where it was you, John Greenlee, and I walk in, and he went on his thing about having to plant thalictrum. So every single time I
mean, that's why I started planting them.
I know, but
John Greenlee looked at me and said, "You need to plant more thalictrums."
And every time I see him in the garden center or hear someone mention thalictrum, it always takes me back to our Asheville trip.
Same. I remember in that garden where that was too.
Yeah.
Down that little slope there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that. And then an obvious one too for me is every time I see crepe myrtle.
Oh yeah.
I think of a lot of different things, but it always takes me back to our Asheville trip because of you and I on our drive down. Every single time there was a crepe myrtle.
But I mean, here's the thing. Just let me set the scene. We don't grow crepe myrtle in Columbus.
We don't.
We can't. We can grow it as a shrub that will die back to the ground. So it acts more like a perennial for us here.
Yeah, we can't.
But we don't have these large trees with the bark and the multi stems. But you get to a point in southern Ohio
Cincinnati-ish, yeah.
Yeah, down towards the river where you start to see crepe myrtles. So it's like, as horticulturists, we're always looking at the plants and it's like, oh, there's a crepe myrtle.
Yeah.
There's a crepe myrtle. And then they become, there's more and more and more, but we just started pointing out every single crepe myrtle.
Every time we saw a crepe myrtle, and it was like a joke. We were running into the ground because like I could be talking to Tim about something on this drive down to Asheville and just mid-conversation, he'd be like, crepe myrtle. Great myrtle, to everyone we saw and vice versa.
And then we started doing that. Well, we didn't start. We continue to do that at all the gardens we toured, which they're everywhere. And then Megan was probably super annoyed with us.
And I think we still probably do that. Like crepe myrtle. Like I know I've walked through the garden center and seen the shrubby crepe myrtles.
Yeah.
And just been like crepe myrtle.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. So that's another one too. Like crepe myrtles always take me back to our little Asheville trip, which is fun.
I feel you. And then, I mean, since you're mentioning North Carolina, so growing up, our family vacation spot was the Outer Banks.
Mm-hmm. ODX.
Yeah. Hatteras Island. And even as a young budding horticulturist, I would notice the plant material down there, but we would stay at a place. Then there'd be a sand dune, and then it would be the beach and the ocean, right? But the sand dunes would stay in place because of sea oats, and they're protected there, and they're not northern sea oats. But every time I see the thing about northern sea oats, I love them as a landscape plant. They're beautiful, but they're just so freaking aggressive.
Oh yeah,
I refuse to plant them, but I love it when I see them. Because they're not the same as the sea. They're a very different type of plant. But when I see sea oats, I always think of the sea oats that are protected along the coast that hold those
the dunes
in place. Yeah. If they weren't there, the dunes would just blow away.
Yep.
And so they're crucial. So I always think of those vacations growing up because my dad would always point those out because he's a plant person. And he'd always point out the sea oats. And, probably when I was a little kid, it was like, whatever, sea oats. But now I look back and realize the importance of them.
Yeah.
Right. And then if I could just wrap a little music into that, we traveled with a few families from my hometown, some friends of ours that they just love to fish. They love to drink and they love to listen to Jimmy Buffett.
Damn. Okay.
And this was a fun crowd. I mean, these folks could party. And the thing about Jimmy Buffett is like, it's not the kind of music I would just listen to independently. Like if I hadn't had that, in my formative years, but just growing up with all that Jimmy Buffett on the beach in North Carolina, fishing while the parents are drinking like frozen drinks and beers. Like it's nothing. Like, I don't know. It just brings you back somewhere, to just, lighter times. So Jimmy Buffett is definitely an artist that whenever I hear, I always think of those family vacations to the Outer Banks.
Jimmy Buffett and the Sea Oats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Sea Oats. And the Coral Reefers as his band.
I know, but
I know. Rest in peace too.
Yeah. R.I.P. for sure. You ever read his book? No, I'm sorry. Tim doesn't read.
No.
He wrote a book called A Pirate's Look at 40 that was really good.
I know. And that's my favorite song of his.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That and Come Monday.
Okay.
And then all those beach ones like Volcano and Grapefruit, Juicy Fruit, and Pendleton Mustache, all those. That's just, if you plop me on a beach or by a pool and give me a jam box, that's what I'm throwing on, like just to get things started, is some Buffett.
Okay.
And then,
see where it goes from there. Speaking of like PPA trips, we hit on the Asheville trip there and how Thalictrum's won and crepe myrtle. But I went to Chicago to a perennial plant symposium, and there, there's things too that that I see now that take me back to that Chicago trip. And
I'm glad you say that because I'm going to have some Chicagos too.
Yeah. And for me, like before I was an Eamsonian nut, one of the things I saw at Millennium Park was this hillside planted in Millennium Park of Eamsonia hubrichtii planted in mass. And there was, a breeze coming off the lake, kind of rolling over this hill.
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan, and to see the movement of the Amsonia in that wind, and it planted in mass all along this hill. And I have pictures of it. That was one that I was like, wow, like I need to do that, which I since have done. So that's one. And then at Chicago Botanical Garden, anytime I see a cornus moss now, I've always been like a cornus guy. I've always liked dogwoods, but Cornelian cherry dogwood.
You are a cornus guy.
Now whenever I see them, I always think like, damn, like I wish that this one looked like the ones at Chicago Botanical Gardens. And there's this like, not really fountain, but this kind of like water feature towards the front that you walk in, and they've got these like lotuses and lilies and things growing in it. And it's kind of, divided up in these walkways. I think it's divided into four. There's four pools that kind of make up this circle, and the walkways that are coming out of it, flanking either side of the walkways, are just these giant, well pruned. Some of them I think are wide enough that they may have supports on them, but they're cornus moss tree. They're just pruned into these big
and they're
trees.
One of the quintessential signs of spring when they bloom too.
Yeah,
so.
And so that's one I always get taken back. And then there's perennials that I see now, and it always takes me back to like the first time seeing the Lurie Garden, like echinaceas and rattlesnake master. And I'll always remember Megan, because Megan and I were there together. You weren't there.
You and my wife just enjoying Chicago style pizza,
spaghetti and meatballs,
just Lady and the Tramp style.
Yeah, but I'll never forget White Swan Echinacea and Rattlesnake Master together. That combo, and how she was just like all jacked up about.
Because sometimes it's like the monochromatic thing. It doesn't have to be this color and that color and that color. It's two of the same color with different textures. Just blows your mind.
Yeah. So those, Little Blue Stem was another one. I think that was, as I was really, it would have been in 2019, I think. 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. And I was like really starting to like latch onto the ornamental grass thing.
The native ones.
The native ornamental grasses more. And so Little Blue Stems, all of the Little Blue Stems were really starting to catch my attention then. That was like the time of the year too when they were like starting to pop off. It was like end of July. I don't know.
It's funny because Chicago is also the place that my wife Megan fell in love with me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we went on a trip there, much like you two did, in college with our group, our dorky college group, LAFF, Landscape and Floriculture Forum. We raised enough money to take a trip to Chicago. And so we toured all kinds of gardens, but I remember kiwis is what always makes me think of the Chicago Botanic Garden, because it was the first time I'd seen hardy kiwi vines growing.
Okay.
And you know me.
Yeah,
I just want to eat everything.
I know you do.
And it was so hard, like being around all these people, because you have to behave a certain way when you're with other people. I wanted to grab a kiwi and just get into it. They were perfectly ripe, just hanging off this railing. I wanted to, but I didn't. But every time I have kiwis, my girls like kiwis, so we have them in the house. I always think of the Chicago Botanic Gardens on that trip where Megan fell in love with me.
Yeah.
But Megan doesn't like kiwis. They make her throat itchy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like kiwi.
Yeah. As well as cantaloupes. She probably doesn't want me telling you all this, but cantaloupes make her throat itchy, and honeydew melons make her throat itchy, and kiwis and mangoes. And I think pretty much like any fruit that's not a berry makes your throat itchy.
Itchy throat Megan. Wow. I had no idea.
So, I always thought she was like making it up for so many years. But then like one time I was with her family in Perrysburg, and her sister was like, "Oh, those make my throat itchy." And I'm like, "Oh, like it's
oh boy,
you too?"
Is that her twin sister?
I don't know that I've ever had an itchy throat. I don't know that feeling.
I've had an itchy throat when I've gotten around some like viburnums that are got full of pollen.
I'd call it scratchy, but not itchy.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you imagine an itch deep in your throat? Whoa, sounds horrendous.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
That's funny. Speaking of pulling things off the vine, I tried some of those grapes at the Biltmore house. They were growing on that arbor through. So when you left the
probably weren't supposed to do that.
No, when you left the like conservatory or the greenhouses, I kind of did the whole like look around and snagged a couple grapes. They weren't very good. They were very sour.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that. The only place I've ever gotten a good grape is at the grocery store.
Yeah, right. All of those grapes that they're growing were for wine.
Yeah.
So, awesome. So there's a place close to home here that whenever I see trees now, they're two different trees specifically. It kind of reminds me of this place that I found in recent years, in the past 10 years, and that's Davy Woods State Nature Preserve. So anytime I see a tulip tree now, or anytime I see buckeye trees, like I just think of Davy Woods because I think, damn, this tulip tree that I'm planting or this tulip tree in this person's yard or in this park setting, if given time and isn't mucked with,
has the potential
to grow into this giant tree you've seen them, the old growth. I don't know if they're old. I mean, I would assume old growth tulip trees.
If you think you've seen a mature tulip tree because you saw one that was like 60 or 70 feet tall in a neighborhood yard, you haven't until you've seen these ones at Davy Woods that are just
4 or 5 feet in diameter and 150 feet tall.
And it's what pictures can't do it justice.
Yeah, I mean the first branch on these trees is like 60 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I mean the only way you know it's a tulip tree is if you know how to identify the bark. Otherwise, you would have no idea.
Yeah. Well, and when the flowers are falling.
Sure.
But anyway, so tulip trees. And then in Davy Woods, I think we've talked about it on here before. The whole entire understory of this nature preserve is buckeyes. And I remember taking you and who was it? Me, you, Regal, and Shinny went out there and did a little morning hike.
We meandered along that stream, and it was just.
You remember like all the buckeyes?
Yeah, it was like a tunnel of buckeyes.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah. So those are two plants, and then the other one too. This is kind of like. I just thought of too another. It's bladdernut. Anytime I see bladdernut,
tell me more. I love that plant.
I know you do. And so anytime I see bladdernut like growing in one of our parks, I immediately am like, oh, you need to go down and check out. I can't even remember the name of this park now. It's like down near Yellow Springs. Let me see if I can Google it real quick. Anyways, along this top trail, it's just like a tunnel of bladdernut.
So while you look, bladdernut's a cool native riparian shrub, suckering shrub, because it has these beautiful bell-shaped white flowers that form these bladders that are 3 sections are full of air and they've got seeds inside of them. But the reason why they have those bladders is because they'll inevitably fall in the stream that they're growing by, and the stream will carry those down somewhere else. They'll float, the bladders will float, and then eventually just deposit them somewhere and start a new colony of bladdernut, which, I mean, is pretty genius because a viable seed, right?
Yeah.
That's going to grow is going to sink. A seed that floats is no good. So if it was just throwing these seeds out, it's going to sink to the bottom of the stream and that's it. But it's sending these seeds into the stream in these air-filled sacks.
A vessel.
It's so cool.
It is cool.
Like nature's so freaking cool.
Yeah. So it's Cedarville, and it's called Massey's Creek Cascade Waterfalls, which is part of the trail system for the Pollock Works Ancient Hopewell Indian Village.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
So, and there's like some Native American mounds there and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So that's another one too. Like, because we have some stands of bladdernut that grows in Dublin, and we've planted it in areas. So anytime I see those, I just am like, oh man, you got to go check these out, Cedarville.
Guess I'll guess I'll get there someday, won't I?
Maybe someday. So you got any other places that?
Yeah. One more that always rings with me is California buckeye. And that's not a plant that I see because we can't grow it here. But my first trip out to California to visit a friend, Sam, when I visited him north of San Francisco.
SS Merch.
There's a lot of California buckeye growing on this property. And he showed it to me right away because he knew how much I love buckeyes. And I'd never seen it before. And it's more of like a multi-stem shrubby buckeye with smaller flowers that are more in spikes rather than panicles. But what's neat about it, and is the real reason why we can't grow it here, is its dormant period is when it's hot.
Oh, okay.
So when it doesn't work here.
Yeah.
Because what it does is when it gets in the warm period where it's hot and dry there and it's not the rainy season, it goes dormant and it drops its leaves. And that's when it's dormant. And then it grows more vigorously during the cooler, wetter times. So, just like a very cool, like you look at it and you know it's a buckeye. And it brings me back to being on that farm north of San Francisco. But I know it's a buckeye, but I'm like, still, I can't have it.
Yeah.
So it has to stay there.
Yep.
It has to stay there in California. So Aeschylus californica, I believe.
Merch posted a video on one of the social medias, TikTok, Instagram. I can't remember now. And I commented on it. And it was just a video of like his living room with the windows open and these just curtains kind of blowing in the breeze. And his dog was hiding behind the curtain. And that's probably why he posted the video, because his dog's cool as hell. But the living room looks so inviting and just so comfortable and chill and relaxed. And I'm like, we need to do a Shrubby Buddies episode there in that living room.
Okay.
So I messaged them on there and was like, hey, Shrubby Buddies episode in your living room. And he immediately responded and was like, anytime.
And Sam, I want you're going to be in the episode, but I also want you working on a wooden spoon while we talk.
Yeah.
Like
whittling out a wooden spoon.
You're talking and you're just working on a wooden spoon.
What would be really cool would be to have him talk about some of the, I don't know, he's more with fisheries, right? With Patagonia, doing stuff with fisheries,
just
marine biology.
I think just the whole environmental portion of it.
If there was a way he could loop in like some of the plant, because I know that they do a lot with plants.
Well,
too.
And honestly, Sam's, we could do a whole episode on this, but Sam could talk about his time on the farm, his family farm in north of San Francisco in Bolinas, California.
Okay.
Cool ass place, dude. You might get there and never want to leave.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good chance.
It's incredible. But now I'm gushing. Just like the meals we ate there were just like fresh from the sea and fresh from the farm. And we're just like eating lettuce, just large pieces of lettuce with our dinner. Nope, no dressing, just eating lettuce. It's like
salmon.
Cool shit like that. And salmon and shrimp and crab that we caught off the boat. Like,
yeah,
that was tough. That was tough to beat. Damn.
Yeah. So we need to do that.
Yeah. I watched one of the hogs there take down like a salmon. They threw the guts in his pen and he took down a salmon.
Spine?
No. What's the organ that's like 600 miles long that's all wrapped up?
Intestines?
Yeah, intestine. And it was all unraveled and he ate it all. And then he regurgitated it back.
And ate it again?
Just inch by inch by inch by inch. And then just started eating on it again. Like it was a cycle that was never going to end.
That dude was like, damn, that tasted good. I got to try it again.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the thing with hogs, though, man. They'll eat anything.
Yeah, they will.
That's awesome. One last place for me is whenever I see plants like southern magnolia and lace bark pine or not lace bark pine, lace bark elms. I think of Atlanta Botanical Gardens and just we can grow a southern magnolia up here, but not like they can down south. The southern magnolias down south are just insane. But Atlanta Botanical Gardens, they've just got some massive southern magnolias and humongous lace bark elms. And I love lace bark elm, but whenever I see those now here, I appreciate what we have here, but it always makes me think of like, damn it, I wish we could grow these as good here as they can grow them down south.
What's funny about that is I have a similar memory of southern magnolia, but mine brings me to Inniswood Metro Gardens.
Okay.
Because that's where I learned that plant. So we were on a field trip in college, and Dr. Pablo Jordan took us to Inniswood for a walkabout, and that's where I learned southern magnolia, specifically the cultivars Bracken's Brown Beauty, and that specimen is still there. So anytime I see one, I always think of that specimen, and anytime I'm at Inniswood, I think of that moment. So,
and you and Megan sneak over to it.
Yep, we make out right under the southern magnolia
Tim,
and such.
You can't kiss and tell, Tim.
She's not allowed to make out on the clock.
Nope.
We go there after hours.
Oh boy. Things are getting wild in Inniswood. So
oh man, what a fun conversation this has been.
Yeah, we're taking ourselves down memory lane with plants.
Yeah.
We could go on.
I don't know where we're at time wise, but I feel like if we're creeping up on it,
we're creeping.
I feel like this is grounds for like a part 2 sometime.
Really?
Yeah. Or just like a revisit. Revisit, because that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, and I have so many more in my mind and so many cool stories.
I know.
To tell.
It's like we're talking about it, like I'm having these memories pop into my brain.
Yeah. That's what I told you they would just come.
We have a lot of part 2s to do. You know that, right? Like
we do.
We have a lot of part 2s.
Yeah, because we have the chartreuse shrubs and trees.
Yeah.
And then we better do a chartreuse annuals.
Okay.
Yep.
We got a part 2 for this. Probably a part 2 for something else about small trees. Probably a part 2 for big trees. Probably a part 2 and 3 for conifers.
The sequel.
I don't know. We got an episode we got to talk about ornamental grasses on. I got people commenting wanting to learn about peach trees and fruit trees and stuff. So I think it could be cool to do an episode on fruit trees.
Listen, I'll just throw a disclaimer out there about fruit trees. Like, I'd love to talk about it sometime with you.
Yeah.
But it is definitely like, it's not in my comfort zone. Fruit trees isn't my thing.
I wouldn't say it's in my comfort zone either.
Like, I know a few things, but like once you start to get down this road of like, well, how come I'm not getting a lot of peaches, or why is that turning brown, or what? Then I'm just like, I don't know. That's a very niche thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we, people who are in that industry, maybe.
I do.
You know?
I do. I mean, with peaches, I do, for sure. Peaches and
apricots. Some might say apricot.
And he grows the pluots and the apriums. Doesn't that sound good right
Sounds
now?
good.
But yeah.
A nice,
and he grows
juicy,
grapes.
fuzzy piece of fruit off a tree.
Dude. That's another one, too. When we were talking cherries, I'll never forget walking up to Twin Oaks for the first time brewing. After the brewery was built, they had a row. They're not there anymore. This row of mature cherry trees that grew cherries. And they were all like, every one of them was a sweet cherry except for one cherry tree. It was the closest to the front walk, and it was a sour cherry.
Was that on purpose to trick people?
No, because I think that Twin Oaks wasn't even a thing when these trees were planted.
Sour cherries have their place.
I know.
Cherry pie.
For sure. But my brother was like, oh, yeah, dude. He knew. He's like, grab a cherry off the tree, you know. So we're walking by, and I grab it and throw it in my mouth thinking it's going to be a sweet cherry, you know.
Nope. Your ass.
Sour cherry. All of the rest of them were sweet cherries, but that one.
Did you get it? Did you get to try a sweet
Yeah.
one?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. But, you know, and yeah, it was funny because it was right by like the front walk up to the front of the brewery.
Why is it that up there by the lake,
Mm-hmm.
it's such great area for growing fruit? Is it the sandy soil?
Soil's not sandy.
It's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just the milder climate?
The soil up there, you have about 12 inches of soil and it immediately goes into limestone. And I'm not talking about like a little bit of limestone here or there. It's like literally when you're getting past 12 inches of soil, you're chiseling out flagstone,
Bedrock,
like literally. But I think I would imagine that inland it's probably a little different. There's probably more soil in some areas. The areas that I've dealt with, not so much. But I remember Quinn talking about how you can grow good grapes in that soil. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But or maybe a good like there's a specific type of
I also
grape,
think
but
there's got to be something to like it's windier and just blowing humidity out of there a little bit more.
Mhm.
You know, just how it is like near coastal areas, even if it's humid, it's a humid day, but when the wind's coming along the coast, it just like sweeps that humidity away.
Yeah.
So
It could be. I really don't know. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
All of these fruit farms and fruit
I mean,
trees
because
and
it's
stuff are all
it's
grow
pretty
close to these water.
flipping humid down in Georgia and South Carolina, and they grow peaches. So I don't know.
Yeah. Georgia peach.
Maybe there is no connection.
Who
to
knows?
The humidity.
Who knows? There's a lot of mayflies up there. I know that.
No, I know.
Their mayflies are hatching right now.
Yeah. Right now? I thought they did that in May.
They're literally the mayflies up there have been
I've slayed the
horrendous.
walleye on a mayfly rig.
Have been horrendous. So
Okay.
my dad was doing boat inspections for the Coast Guard this past weekend.
What a cool thing. My dad inspects boats for the Coast Guard.
He's like the flotilla commander.
I know.
He's 80 years old and the flotilla commander for the Marblehead Coast Guard thing. Anyways, so they were doing boat inspections.
What a cool guy.
He said he parked, and when he parked, there wasn't a mayfly anywhere. Not a mayfly to be seen where he parked at. And he left the windows cracked so that when it gets so hot in the car. And when he came back, he's like, I swear there must have been a mayfly hatch while we were inspecting boats because his car was covered with the mayflies. So I would imagine, though, that they would be wrapping up at this point.
Okay.
I would think. It usually lasts about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, because we're in summer.
I know. Yeah.
Summer's just started.
It's been cool, though.
Yeah.
So
Really cool.
but they've had some big hatches up there. Those hatches on the lake, the mayfly hatches, get so thick that it shows up on Doppler radar as a rainstorm over the lake.
That's crazy.
And it's not.
No.
It's just mayflies.
No.
Kind of like birds. Birds migrating will do that sometimes
Yeah.
too. But yeah, these are little insects without mouths. Mouthless insects.
Yeah. That's cool. I feel like we could keep going. Luna moths are like that too.
Yeah.
They get born to breed and then they die. They don't eat as adults.
Yeah.
So
that sucks. Could you imagine? Like,
yeah, but like I also think
you emerge from the Lake Erie, you emerge as this little insect, right? Hoping that you don't get eaten by a walleye or a perch.
and then
you just pop out of the water and you're like, damn, I'm hungry, but I ain't got no mouth. So then you just go around and you bang for a day or two and then you die.
And then you're dead. And then you're bird food.
And then you get washed into the back end of the lake. Start the cycle over again. Yeah. All right. We're just rambling now.
Yeah.
Okay, peeps. Well, that's it for this week. If I can't figure something out for next week, we'll be at you the week after.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and we love y'all harder plus 2.
We are the Shrubby Buddies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.